Hello, this is Jack. Happy Saturday. I'm in my car. Today we are doing our first Saturday solo, I think we're calling them. And I was supposed to do it like early in the week, and then it was going to be uploaded like late today. And it's 4:30 on the Saturday that it's actually supposed to be uploaded, but nobody listens to the show anyway yet, so it's fine that we don't have it uploaded. Um, and also, everybody watches the show for Amelia anyway, so there's really no point for me to even do like my Sunday episode. But just to like get into what Sundays are going to be like or Saturdays. I keep saying Sunday because I shouldn't be doing this the same day it's being uploaded, but Saturday solo. The way Saturday solos are going to work is they're probably going to be a lot shorter because it's if you've ever done a podcast before, you know how hard it is to talk on your own. They're going to be solo. We're going to like alternate each week. So this week is me. So next Saturday will be Amelia. Um, and they're going to be really unstructured. Some of them will come into with a topic. Some of them will just be like ranting um, about whatever. And yeah, I don't know if I'm always going to do it in my car, but I know I'm not going to get like distracted by much in my car. That's a lie. I could really easily get distracted, but no one's going to like try to distract me. And then it's also just really easy and comfortable. I spend a lot of time in my car anyway. I commute like an hour every day, not back and forth total. So yeah. But yeah, right now I am currently in a phase of life where I am studying for the lsat, the law school admissions test. It's like the only important thing in my life ever. Not like to me, but like when it comes to the impact that it's going to have on my life, like that test is really important. And it's kind of an IQ test. It like doesn't like there's no knowledge you need to possess for the test. It doesn't test your like knowledge of things or life or law at all. There's no law on the test. Or memory. It doesn't do any of that. It the way it's structured, it like tests your reading comprehension, which is something I'm really good at, so that's good, and like logical reasoning. So I'm trying to like come up with a question, but that's really impossible. So like it might have so it'll have like a stimulus and it's like something you read and it's short. So it might say, I'm trying to think of one. It was like most of the food prepared by the zoo staff was eaten by the monkeys. The monkeys ate more food than ever before. Most of the food the monkeys ate was not prepared by the zoo staff. And then it has a question. So that might have been confusing, but it was really just three facts. Then it has a question, and the question would be like, what conclusion can best be drawn from the given information? And then there's five answer choices, and it might say like, the zoo staff prepared more food than ever before. A. B. The monkeys ate more food than ever before. C. Most of the monkeys' food came from a different source. D. Whatever. And like that's an actual question. You could probably look that up if you're interested. Look up like LSAT monkey zoo staff question, and you'll find the exact question I'm talking about. Um, so it's like reading comprehension. There's really not much you can do to like. Okay, there's a lot you can do to prepare for it, but um, yeah. So I take the test in April, and my target score is really really high. It's scored 120 to 180, bell curve. My target score is like a 175 plus, and that's really really hard. That's like 98 percentile. Um, so I want to be in that range. So the first thing you do is you take a diagnostic test, a cold diagnostic. You read nothing about the test. You just find a practice test, take it, timed, start to finish, just to see where you're starting. Because if my goal is 175 and I get like a 121, which is I'm assuming one question right, then I would that's unreasonable. Like if I took it and I got like a 135, I would, which is pretty much guessing, I would probably want to either take the test later, take less classes so I can study harder, or like just second guess my target score. Um, but I took it a diagnostic cold, and I thought I did really well. Actually, I thought the questions were, I felt I could understand them pretty well, and that's kind of like what I do anyway. Um, I got a 159. So that's like 77th, 78th percentile. So I'm pretty happy with that. Given 8 months to get 15 to 20 points is really, really doable. I saw a post on Reddit. Pause. If you are studying for the LSAT or the MCAT, or you are a pre-med or a pre-law student, or you want to go to grad school or anything, or like SATs, ACTs, do not go to Reddit. I learned that. I'm not going on Reddit anymore. It is so bad for you. Everybody there got a 120 on their cold diagnostic and studied for 3 weeks really hard and got a 180, a perfect score, and they're going to Harvard. Every single person. And I truly think most people just go to Reddit and lie, because it's a terrifying place. But this one post I did see, and I have heard it corroborated by other people, is that roughly, with intense studying, multiple hours every day, you should expect, or many people get, a 10-point score increase per month. Now, that 10-point score increase from 130 to 140 can literally come in days or hours, just learning the test. I'm convinced if I take another one without any studying, I'd probably get more than a 159. So obviously, like, getting 10 points from 159 to 169 and then 169 to 179, much harder to do. But I have a lot of time to do it. I plan to study really hard for it. Not necessarily because I want to go to, like, the score I got now could get me into a lot of law schools, almost every law school. But there are some reasons people would want to get like a really good score. And I know you probably don't care. It's possible you stumbled upon this and you actually are studying for the LSAT or want to. But this is just what's on my mind, and it's like the only thing I can talk about. I mean, you could ask Amelia, like, what I've been talking about recently. It's this. So now, what was I on about? Oh, why I want to get a good score. So the reason a lot of people would want to get a really good score is, one, to get into like a top institution. My dream school is Duke. Okay, Duke costs $80,000 a year, and they don't give many scholarships. So that's why I'd want to get a really good score, is to have that option. But the other one is, there are some schools in the 20 to 40 range, and then obviously lower, where a score like the one I'm trying to get, paired with a good GPA, can get you a full ride. And even though Duke is my dream school, if I could get a full ride to UNC, which is my target school, I would go to UNC for sure, because Duke isn't going to give me a full ride. They do give scholarships, and like, I'd probably pay less than half tuition with that, but that's just not okay. Schools like Harvard pretty much only do needs-based scholarships, so you're going to pay full price if you want to go there. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So when I finish this, I'm probably going to, one, edit it and upload it, because this has to be up today. It's not going to take long to edit, though. And then I'm probably just going to do an hour of studying. I bought 2 books. They were like $50 each. They came in a pack, so it was $100 on Amazon. Love Amazon. Well, I hate Amazon as a corporation, but they're too useful. I mean, they're so useful. It's really unfortunate. Someone needs to ethically do a better job, I guess. But I got the 2 books, and they're called the Power Score Bibles, and apparently they're like really good. And I do not want to get a coach. They're so expensive. I don't want to get a tutor. I don't want live classes. That's just unacceptable. I can't afford that. But I figured I would start with a subscription to Law Hub, which you need. They have like all the practice tests. It's run by the actual LSAT people, the LSAC. And then that's $120 a year, and then $100 worth of books. So I'm in like $220 right now. Now, I think, I've never done this before, but I think that I can get the score I want by just doing this and taking a bunch of practice tests and going through these Bibles multiple times. If I find that I am wrong and that cannot be done, then I'm going to have no choice but to do something else. And there are other subscription things like LSAT Demon or 7 Sage that are like $60 to $100 a month. And I'm thinking, even if I'm feeling pretty good, I might end up buying one of those subscriptions for like the last 2 to 3 weeks, or 2 to 3 months, leading up to the test, maybe January, February, March, because the test is like really early April. maybe I'll do that just to like squeak out points. Because yeah, I mean, even if I'm PTing practice testing at my target score, you often when you like if you're taking practice testing every time you get between a 170 and a 175, when you go take it in person, you should expect a 170. You should expect on the lower range of your practice test just because there's test anxiety, there's a new environment, there's luck. So you should expect the lower. So even if I'm PTing where I want to be, I might still do a course. You can always retake it, and it's a really expensive test. It's upwards of $300. So you can always retake it, but you don't want to because it costs money. Um, and schools can see all your scores. If I got like a 170, I'd probably retake it. If I was PTing in the 176, 160, 177, I'd probably retake it. The schools that I apply to would still see the 170, but that's okay. They'd probably still like me. And my GPA is pretty good, and my extracurriculars are, I think, very strong. So I think I'll be a fine applicant. I just really don't want to pay all of that money because I want to be a defense attorney for a lot of reasons. And I'm sure I can eventually, on an episode of this, get into like the philosophy of why I want to do that. But in order to start out, you kind of need to be a public defender. And I also want to do that because I think it's good public service work. You work for the government, your clients don't pay you. The government does, and you work for free for your clients. It's like pro bono for your clients, but it's because they cannot afford an attorney. It's like, the thing in the Constitution, or not the Constitution. I don't know. But like the Miranda warning, like if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Not true, actually. The right to an attorney is like not a guaranteed thing. That's like a very complicated thing. But no, there are actually situations where you don't get a public defender. But again, the reason you need to do that to be a defense attorney is because why would anybody facing prison with money, people who hire defense attorneys have money. Why would anybody hire a defense attorney who has never tried a case before and won when they're like prison is on the line? Like there's no way. So you become a public defender, you build your name, work for a firm, assist, and then eventually you get to where you want to be. And I have high aspirations, but I want to do public service for a while and just see, what that's like. Because I'm a huge criminal procedure nerd. I love Crim Pro. So, um, what can we talk about that relates to this? Because this is like the only thing on my mind. Let's talk about. Okay, so I'm currently like getting ready in a month here to go back to school. Right now, my days are like very, very structured. I work full time 5 days a week. Um, like I'm in the office by 8:15 and I'm leaving by 5. So I work a long time. Um, So I wake up at 7. Well, recently, most of the summer I've woken up at 7, hopped in the shower, made something for breakfast, maybe packed a lunch and left. Recently I've been getting up at 6 or 5:30 and running 5 or 6 miles, but that's recent. We'll see how long I can keep that up. Um, on the never mind. See, I'm not used to shooting these out of order because there are things that I've said. Right now, me and Amelia are going on a trip, so we're not shooting while we're gone. So we've like pre-made episodes. So there's things I want to say that you don't know yet, but I forget. So I actually think we need to stop doing this. I think we need to stop recording episodes so long in advance. I think they need to be. I think we need to not shoot like. You have seen one episode of the show. You've seen just the first In Bloom episode. We have 2 more done. One's coming out Monday, and then one's coming out next Monday. I'm recording this. This is like we've recorded 3 In Bloom episodes. You've only seen 2, and I'm recording this. So there are like 2 episodes worth of stuff that you don't know that I think you know because I think I've said it, but we haven't. So yeah, we'll get into. Spoiler alert, in our 3rd episode, we talk about physical health and supporting your partner in their physical health journey. So yeah, there's that. Do you like my hat? Somebody here? Do you like my hat? I got it from um it says Go One More on it. It's from Bear Performance Nutrition. Um I don't do their supplements because they're expensive, but Yeah, it's this guy Nick Barron. They make like really good running hats, and I needed a running hat because I wear snapbacks. You'll probably notice, and those aren't comfortable to run in. They're solider, more solid. They have like a plastic thing, and this is like cloth. I mean, it's just floppy, so I like it, but it's red, and I thought it'd be cool. What am I? Oh, my days are structured, and so that's like every day. My weekends are like whatever I can do. Like this weekend, I got home. Friday night, I mowed the grass. Today, I got up and I played soccer this morning. My brother is still in high school soccer. I'm an alumnus, and me and some friends went back and did like an open field with them, and it was fun. Then I went to the store with my friends. We got steaks. Came back to one of our friends' house, grilled steaks, ate them. Now I'm here. So the weekends are like whatever I can fill in, like things I need to do. But I'm going to school soon. And when I go back to school, things are going to change because every day I'm going to have class, not like all day, but a couple classes. Um, and those aren't like a big part of the day. Like you just go and whatever. But like your schedule revolves around them. So yeah, I have every day, I have class, I have my job, I work at the school, um, at my university. I'm a photographer for my university, so I have sports. I go to a lot of sporting events, like football games. I have friends. I have to work out. I have to eat. I have to now study for the LSAT. I have to study for school and like do my homework. So my days are about to get a lot more stressful. And this is the first semester of school where I'm studying for the LSAT. Last year I didn't have that to worry about. Last year was a mess. I was a pre-med, and then second semester I wasn't. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what my days are going to look like to have regular study time for the LSAT because it's very important. And the way I look at it is I'm looking for a full ride scholarship to a school that costs $60,000 a year. That is $180,000 in value. So I'm trying to find middle ground between the fact that one, I need to work and make money now to do things now and pay for things now, while also knowing that it is worth it to work less so I can study for this test while I'm not working, like work less hours so I have more time to study because this test is eventually going to be the most valuable thing I could do. I mean, this could be a $200,000 test. But also, I need money now. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that's going to look like. Um, and it's really tough because I'm like a planner, so I like want to figure out what my college days will look like now, but I really can't until I get there and figure out like actually what happens. Like when I got out of high school, me and Amelia one day went to Starbucks and like planned out our whole year. We didn't follow hardly anything there because it's just too hard to plan that. You can't plan for I mean, we hadn't even been to college yet. We haven't even spent a night on campus, so we don't know like what being in college is like. So, yeah, we didn't follow that. So I like want to plan what I'm going to do because I'm like for some reason anxious that I'm not going to be able to study for the LSAT, even though I wasted so much time last year in school that like I know I have the hours in the day to study for this test. Um, I'm also confident now that I got my diagnostic that like I'm gonna be fine. But yeah, so I want to plan it, but I know there's no actual way to plan it. Yes, I've been to school before and I know what it's like, but I'm living with new people in a different place now. And it's just going to be different. I have a different class schedule, I have different motivations, so like I have a different job title. So yeah, I can't really plan as much as I want to. And that really sucks. Yeah. Ooh, let's talk about this. So the ESPYs were the other day. It's like ESPN's like award show. And I never watch it. I don't care about the ESPYs at all. Um, like if you want to know like what kind of a joke the ESPYs are, it's mostly it's an American thing. So like Christian Pulisic, great player, but he won best soccer player and like come on. So I don't really care about the ESPYs at all. What I did see was clips of Shane Gillis, the comedian, his monologue. And it was very offensive and funny, and like the crowd didn't really like it all that much. It's a tough crowd because they're all athletes and like whatever. But he made fun of a bunch of people and it was funny. But um, what was I gonna say about this? Oh, Shane Gillis. So I have mixed opinions on Shane Gillis. One, like I think some of the jokes were like, I know they're in good taste because I know who he is, but some of the jokes were inappropriate. But and like rude and like sexist to like female sports, which are already underrepresented like by ESPN. But um I think Shane Gillis is such a good dude. I really do. He talk he kind of panders to a right-wing crowd. And this show isn't about politics, but like come on, it's going to happen. When you put me and Amelia on a podcast, it's going to happen. So, he kind of panders to a right-wing crowd, and comedy is mostly a right-wing thing right now. But I don't think, hot take, I don't know if this is hot take. I don't know. I don't think Shane Gillis is right wing. One, I mean, the amount that he makes fun of Trump. Yeah, I know a lot of comedians make fun of Trump because it's so easy, but I don't think he's right wing because right wing ideology right now revolves around kind of a hate. And I'm not just trying to say that all right wingers are hateful. I'm not saying that. But it revolves around like a individualism and a lack of respect for people who you are not, and an inability to put yourself in other shoes. But I saw a podcast one day that really made me gain a lot of respect for Shane Gillis. I think it was Andrew Schultz was on it. I don't know who else. There was like 5 guys, and they were pulling up like videos of like people with Down syndrome, and they were like laughing at them and like the funny things they do, and like all these guys who are neurotypical and probably don't have any friends that are neuroatypical and like or neurodivergent. I don't know which word you're supposed to use. I use both interchangeably, but they were just like making fun of these people with Down syndrome, like sitting there laughing. And Shane was like, "What are we doing? Like, what's funny? Why do you like you're just pulling up these videos of just people, and you're just sitting here laughing about it?" And Shane does have a relative with Down syndrome. He speaks about that a lot. Um, and because of that, he like makes jokes, not at Down syndrome expense, but he like says that he has like a little bit of Down syndrome. And I think because of the support that he shows for people with Down syndrome, I think that like the jokes he makes are acceptable. It's kind of like when companies like change their logo. I wrote an op-ed about this. When companies change their logo during June for Pride Month, um, and then they like also donate to like anti-LGBTQ causes or like organizations. But like that's not okay. But when they do it and then they're also like an ally organization and they like act it, then it's okay. It's like Shane Gillis making jokes are appropriate because he's like actually respectful and actually a good dude. So I don't know. That was on my mind. I was like kind of like thinking about like comedians who make jokes like at like comedy is edgy is inherently edgy. It's inherently offensive. It's not we all know like what comedy is and isn't funny. And yes, comedy is just not funny when it can be funny and clean, but it relies on edginess and making fun of people in good faith, whatever. But I was kind of thinking about like how that is done while still showing like so much respect for people. Shane made a lot of jokes about women's sports, but and he made a joke about, and this was, I don't know, so it sounds at first like he's making fun of women's sports, but not really. He showed a video like on the screen behind him. He was talking about people that were there, and it cut to like somebody there in the crowd sitting there. And he said like, here we are with like WNBA 5-time All-Star or MVP or whatever, and said a name, and everyone cheered. And he was like, that's my friend's mom. I knew none of you knew NBA players. Oh, my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players. And at first I was like, come on, Shane, like that's cheap. But then I was like, well, he was making a point, potentially, about the sport not getting recognition, which it's true. And the league doesn't get recognition. But he also, throughout the monologue, like, really supported female athletes. Simone Biles, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. He did say something about Megan Rapinoe, but he didn't discredit her as a player or an athlete, just as a person. He said something like, Megan Rapinoe isn't here. Nice. And then, like, people, like, kind of laughed, but not really. And then he said, which was the funnier part, he said, are we all going to just sit here and pretend she's a good time? And it was funny, and she's just a person. And, like, I'm not saying that, like, making fun of a woman or a female athlete, like, makes you a sexist. It doesn't. Like, making fun of women generally, stereotypically, is sexist. But yes, so the point I was trying to make is I think that Shane Gillis, as a comedian, the reason I like him, even though he says things I don't love sometimes, I feel like he's actually a respectful guy and a good person. And I think that he actually supports the communities that he makes fun of sometimes, and that I don't know. I think he's a good guy. He might not be. I don't know him. I've never met him. But yeah, that was something that I thought was interesting from the espys. And then the reaction from it. He made fun of Trump a couple times, and they didn't love that. He said something about how are we all just gonna, like, when are we gonna stop pretending that Trump knows ball? Because Trump does not know ball. He knows nothing about sports, and they've never mattered to him. But he always, like, tries to talk about it, and, like, he's like, when are we gonna stop pretending Trump knows ball? And that was it was a funny monologue. You should watch it, or don't. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I told you what I wanted to tell you about it. I'm reminded, since I'm in the car right now. The other day, I decided I needed to wash my car. My car is white. It didn't look very white. My car's not, like, off-white or, like, matte white. It's like a glossy, actual pure white color. And it didn't look that way. So I washed it, and when I was washing it, I got, like, halfway through, and I was like, wow, the color is different. And I finished the car, and I washed it, and now that I washed the car, I'm, like, really upset when it gets dirty. Like, I washed it, like, this week, like, Monday or Tuesday, so it's been, like, 5 days. And before then, I hadn't washed it since I got it in October. I got this car in October, and I hadn't washed it. I took it through a car wash maybe one time, and I washed it, and now I'm, like, really upset when it gets dirty. Like, I got home today, and I saw, like, a smudge. So I grabbed a microfiber towel and a bottle, cleaned it, and then I walked around the entire car and basically cleaned it again. Like, not with a hose or, like, a scrubber or anything, but, like, everything I saw that was dirty, I cleaned up. And then I saw bugs, and I got this special stuff my dad had that can take the bugs off the car. And then I got glass cleaner, and I cleaned everything. I have a problem now because the car is clean, and I don't like that it's clean. And now that I like that it's clean, but I want it to stay that way. And now that I'm looking at, like, my floor mats, I had WeatherTech floor mats, like the rubber ones, because they were in the car when I bought it because it was, like, winter. And then I never took them out. And I have the other floor mats, and the other floor mats do look better. They make the car look cleaner. So I put in these, and these I'm scared to get dirty. So now that I'm looking, I'm gonna, like, vacuum it. Um, but for Christmas, I got a front license plate because in Ohio you don't need a front license plate, which actually kind of sucks because since you don't need one, they didn't give me one. I, like, had to pay extra for it, and I wasn't going to. So when I go to school, since our parking permits are on our license plates, I have to pull in. I can't back in and pull out later. And if there's 2 spots in a row open, I can't pull through. So that sucks. But I got this front license plate because, that's where I go to school, and I don't have the screws to do it. So I can't put it on, and I want to put it on because, you know. So there's that. And then my brother works at a car dealership, and they have these lying around, so he got me screws, and he's like, I hope they're the right ones, and they're not, but it's okay. He tried. So, and then also my back license plate, screws, like, 4 times, but it only came with 2 screws, so there's just 2 screws. So when I shut the trunk, it, like, or, like, am I just driving? I sometimes hear it. It, like, rattles because the bottom part's loose. So I needed 6 screws. So I bought 8 on Amazon. It was like $3. And I'm just like, I don't want to buy these because, like, it's such a stupid thing to have to purchase. There are things that, like, you just think you should be able to find. Like, screws for your license plate just feel like they should be free because, like, come on. But yeah, I had to buy them. So I have 8. I'll be able to put this on the front of the car. And I would actually love to go get another plate from, like, I don't know. Do you go to the DMV for that? And buy another plate. But I'm not gonna do it. Probably it's not worth it. I can just back out of spots. I'm just better at backing into spots than pulling in. It's easier. Um, yeah, and then I'll be able to secure the bottom of my thing. I'm really thrilled. I'm like over the moon about this. So yeah. See, I have more things I could say, but who's actually going to sit here and listen to me talk for like an hour? We're at 30 or 30 something minutes right now. And who's really going to come listen to me talk for an hour about whatever? See, like it's not like you're getting content. You're not getting something out of this. You know, like the first bit might be helpful if you were studying for the LSAT, but not really because I don't know what I'm doing either. The middle part, what did I talk about in the middle part? Shane Gillis? I don't know. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're watching this whole thing, like if you're hearing me right now, I don't like find something else to watch, I think. Yeah, and also if I continue to talk, then I have like less to talk about in future episodes. So what I should do right now, ideally, is the things I'm thinking about talking about, but I'm going to stop this episode. I should like pull my phone out right now right when I finish, type them in, then I can talk about them later. But I know I'm not going to do that. I won't do that. Um But yeah, I hope you like the Sunday special format or Sunday solo. I don't know what they're called. I don't care. I'm just gonna upload this, and Amelia can like, I do the YouTube side of things and the video editing. Amelia does all social media. So like, if you're mad about something that happens, like now you know who to go to. So okay, thanks for spending 32 minutes with me. See ya.